Hi everyone, we'll wait a couple of minutes for more people to join and we'll start. Meanwhile, you can make yourself comfortable in front of your screens. Maybe make yourself a cup of tea or coffee. Yeah, we will start just in a minute, I think. Just waiting for more people to join. Don't worry. All right, let's start. Everyone will join a bit later. Welcome everyone to our webinar. Thanks for joining us today. Hope that your day is doing well, going well, and that this session will make it even better. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Christina, a sales manager at SAP Baltica, and I'm very glad to introduce you our head of SAP BI and EPM practice, Pavel. Hi, Pavel.
Hello, everyone.
Pavel will be the main technical expert for today's topic. Today, we are continuing our series of webinars on SAC, actually, and the topic of our today's webinar is Workforce Planning with SAP Analytics Cloud. And talking a bit about our agenda for today, we'll start our webinar with a brief overview of SAP Baltica. Then we will talk about the SAC capabilities, features, and steps in planning cycle. After that, we'll present you the demo of the solution and share some of the benefits of utilizing SAC for your workforce planning. And by the way, if you come up with any questions, please feel free to write them down in the chat or in the Q&A section, and we'll discuss them later after the main part of the presentation. All right, so before we dive into the main topic, I'd like to tell you a few words about SAP Baltica. For those of you who don't know us yet, we are SAP Baltica, an SAP Platinum partner in Lithuania and a member of United VARs Association with more than 2 decades of overall experience in SAP. And we have a very vibrant team of more than 140 experts, both consultants and developers. And the portfolio and geography of our projects are quite wide, with more than 150 successfully completed projects in 10 plus countries. We have expertise in the following SAP areas. You can see them on the screen. The first one is customer experience SAP solutions, such as Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud, CRM, and so on. Then there is our ERP and S4HANA department that covers a wide range of modules, both most popular and rare ones. And of course, we have a strong expertise in BW, BI, BPC, and Analytics Cloud, and have our own team of ABAP developers. And today, let's focus mainly on SAC solution. SAC functionality is built around 2 main pillars, reporting and collaborative enterprise planning. Reporting uses existing data to help the business understand performance and make informed decisions. BI applications can work on their own, but they deliver the most value when combined with planning. And planning creates new data using allocations, calculations, and predictive, meaning AI-based models. It relies on strong data connectivity to existing sources. And as a result, every SAC planning project combines both business intelligence and planning. Next, let's quickly review the functional blocks, starting with reporting. In SAP Analytics Cloud, reporting is available on 3 levels. The first one, operational level, detailed operational reporting and data mining for analysts. The second one is decision-making level. Here we mean dashboards and single points of entry for business users. And the third one, the board level. There is an SAP digital boardroom powered by SAC. And actually, planning capabilities are also available on all 3 levels. If you have a standalone SAP Analytics Cloud, you have analysis, planning, forecasting, and reporting in one application. And this will allow you to make decisions fast based on the system's data. Using SAC planning tools, you can create and share private versions of plans and discuss what-if scenarios before publication. These planning tools are modern and browser-based and allow you planning and modeling with various levels of details for any number of users. SAP Analytics Cloud complements it by providing a complete planning and analytics solution augmented by AI to transform data-driven decision-making using the data and semantics provided. As the centralized planning platform, SAP Analytics Cloud allows you to synchronize your supply chain, sales, marketing, workforce, and IT plans into one version of the truth. At the same time, SAC reporting functionality creates a closed loop from insight to action. And let's start with workforce planning. Here, you are not building a model from scratch. You're using a pre-built workforce planning model based on real HR and finance data from SuccessFactors and SAP S/4HANA. This means headcount planning is aligned with how the organization actually operates today. To speed things up, the solution includes ready-made templates, built-in calculations, and tools to generate assumptions automatically, even when you're working across different currencies and countries. Planning is driven by real workforce dynamics, such as expected hires, transfers, and employee turnover, so plans reflect realistic changes instead of static headcount numbers. And the second part, focuses on employee-related costs, not just salaries, but everything that comes with people, bonuses, benefits, travel, and office expenses. Instead of guessing, the planning is based on historical data, so assumptions are grounded in reality. You can also calculate the cost impact of different response scenarios, for example, hiring, restructuring, or cost-saving measures. And once the costs are calculated, they are already prepared for financial planning, no manual rework needed. What makes this really powerful is integration. HR data, accounting data, and analytics all stay in sync thanks to seamless connection between SAP SuccessFactors, S/4HANA, and SAP Analytics Cloud. That means headcount, salaries, and employee expenses are consistent across HR and finance. Workforce plans are integrated with financial planning, so individual employee expenses and employee-related costs, center budgets all come in sync. Finance doesn't have to rebuild anything. Both teams work with the same number from day one. Sorry. And the classical planning cycle in SAC for planning consists of the following steps: prepare, schedule, predict, plan, visualize, and finalize. Within the cycle, all the participants can collaborate by sharing stories, running discussions, and adding comments. SAC has a number of pre-built analytics tools. They are designed in the most user-friendly way to help even non-technical backgrounded person. And you can use machine learning capabilities to predict the trend of various indicators based on the historical data available in your system. For example, you can forecast workforce demand, employee leaves, and how these leaves impact planning and costs. Also, SAC allows you easily model how different factors affect your plans. For example, you can adjust employee medical insurance prices and instantly see the impact on your operating profit with a single click on Simulate. Yeah, so basically that's all from me on the theoretical overview of the solution. And now I would like to give the floor to my colleague, Pavel. Please go ahead with the demo.
Thanks, Christina. Hello, everyone. Now I will show you overview of SAC workforce standard workforce planning functionality. We'll go from headcount planning approach, salary method planning, plan driver analysis adjustments, and some pre-built reporting. We will cover the strategic workforce planning, and also we'll cover operational 1 year workforce planning integrated with our financial plans. I believe you should see my screen. Yeah, correct?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, nice. So here I'm inside SAP Analytics Cloud. I have my homepage and some favorite stories. Each, let's say, report or planning tool in SAC called stories. And now let's start from strategic workforce planning. Clicking on here. Here's our strategic workforce planning cockpit, called landing page as well. And in this standard ready-to-use process, we will cover plan preparation, your workforce analysis and forecasting, then admin task, populating plan, predefine for end users for planner, predefine some base. So we'll not go zero-based budgeting or forecasting, we will go with data-based. Then we will check and adjust planning assumptions, perform some version scenario comparison, and then we will go with response strategy, because during planning, we will get some planned demand and planned supply with definitely some gaps inside. We will decide how we will cover these gaps, and system will calculate response strategy costs. Then we will integrate our next year, 2026, into operational planning and go in some details there. So let's start from before you plan, click on Know Your Workforce, and let's analyze who works in our company. Emphasize a little bit, maybe, if it's needed. Okay, so here I have my current workforce, and I can analyze my end of period headcount per age or per job family or per performance rating. So I will be familiar with my employees. Then I can analyze retirements and terminations, eligible less than 1 year, from 10 to 15 years, and so on. Again, by tenure, by locations, job family, so I can analyze what I have in actual data. And also I can analyze my hire statistic by different analytics. So this part helped me to review and understand what is my current state with data coming from your HCM system. Let's go further and go to understand influencers. Now we want to understand what is our retirement factors. In SAC, we have, as Christina said, different prediction functionality, AI functionality available. And here, to understand our retirement factors, we'll use classification prediction model. And based on your statistical data, historical data coming from your HCM system, and here we can define what we want to predict, what is our main influencers, and system will analyze influencer contributions and will define the tech target and classify. We can see the predictive power of this model is 93.9%, which is pretty big. Yeah, and it's pretty confident results. And based on that, we can analyze results in graphical view. So we can go and analyze data by, let's say, job family and age. Yeah. Here we can see that persons in administrative support with age less than 20 years most likely will retire based on our statistical data. Yeah. Also, we can analyze that account managers 60 plus, from sales with age 60 plus also most likely will be retirement. So having this information, we can understand which is the most likely the weakest part of our workforce structure and where to make more attention. Yeah. Okay. So currently we analyzed our workforce and classify our employee by some sort of categories to forecast most likely retired groups. And go with one population, which is basically usually admin task or process owner task. Here we have some actual data, organizational unit and job family. Can analyze trends, different scenarios. Analyze current workforce plans and planned increase, planned reductions to understand trends. And then let's forecast our supply. Here we can forecast current workforce separately, or increases, or separately reductions, or forecast altogether. Here we use prediction model for time series forecast based on your actual historical number of current employees increases and reductions. So we can analyze in time. Here's our base for 2026 and following years. We can adjust this on top level. Let's increase not on 497, but 550. System will automatically split below, bit down. So no need to go cell by cell. You can do some high-level adjustment with automatical split. But here we can also increase of 5 senior leadership persons, and data will be recalculated back. Now we have forecasted and manually adjusted supply for headcount and FTEs. Let's publish our data and make it available for planners. can plan retirements as well. We have employee age, we have number of employee by ages, and we have pre-calculated number of employees retirement eligible today by 1 year and so on. Oh. And also we can check and adjust. We can check calculated probabilities of retirement based on your statistical data, historical data, or we can decrease it. We can do as well on top level or per individual organizational unit and job family. We'll calculate number of potentially retired people from amount of eligible today. Now, based on adjusted probabilities, we can calculate future retirements. We will see what is our forecasted supply is. After that, and our calculation will be done, we will switch to supply demand gap analysis. Demand in SAC and the standard content calculates based on your current workforce number per job families and org units and some driver growth. It depends on individual industry or individual dependencies for individual client. We can rename drivers, we can create not 2 but 5 drivers if it needed. It's a question of conceptual design, how to define these drivers and dependency. The idea is that, for example, if for $1 million you needed 100 of employees, and the next year expected to grow on 1.5 in revenue. Yeah, it's very simplistic way. You can imagine that you require 1.5 grow in headcount for specific job family, specific organizational unit. That page. Switch to demand drivers, which I just mentioned. And we can define for 5 or even if it's needed more year driver values, and swayed and system will calculate value year over year for driver 1, driver 2, and then based on those combined year over year growth, we can calculate demand based on your current employee, current headcount rate. Basically, let's analyze it. Here you can see by organizational unit, job family in years. You can see driver growth and demand headcount calculated. Visual form and in tabular form. If we're interested in specific organizational unit, we can click here and drill down by hierarchy, filter only, corporate function, operations. And let's drill up by organizational unit and drill down by job families. We can see which is the headcount demand, but our job family in operations organizational unit. And now we have forecasted supply, adjusted on influencers, our prediction and manual adjustments, including planned retirements with probability and eligible date. And also we have demand based on our demand drivers and current headcount. So let's analyze gap. Do we have it? In gap we can analyze it. Yeah, we have in 2026, we have a gap in 6,000 employees. In 2027, this gap is even bigger. We can select only corporate function, for example, corporate organizational unit, for example, or drill down, national control, analyze org unit by org unit. And also we can go low and analyze per individual job families. Let's drill to level 2. Here we have supply, demand, and the gap headcount in 2026, 2027, and further. And now we should define response strategies. What to do with this gap, how to cover it. Maybe hire, maybe outstaff, maybe restructuring or internal movements. Let's go for it. Go to response strategy. Here we have calculated average training cost and average recruiting cost, aggregated on top level of organizational units, but we can go into full screen and analyze the drivers on more detailed level. Currently just equal. Basically, we can adjust customer relation, for example, will cost less. And everything that is under customer relation will be equal to 800, for example, per one headcount. And average recruiting cost, let's left the same. But for corporate strategy, let's increase average recruiting cost to 2.5. You can see that everything below was adjusted to 2.5, but on corporate level, it's calculated back, including this 2.5 and those old 2000 cost, average recruiting cost. So you can always see your average drivers coming from your accounting system and from your CM system. So here's our base assumption. Now, each individual year, example for 2026, let's work only with 2026. Right-click, filter member. Now we can see that I have some adjusted gap on all organizational units. So in overall, it counts fine, but we will go below on the individual organizational unit. I can see some inconsistencies. It's ideally should be solved. I have too many employees here, energy and utilities, but Lack of employee in corporate. Let's check. Maybe I can move someone. For example, in corporate services, I can see that I have 1.9 thousand employee more than needed. Let's check by functions. And let's go full screen mode, make it more comfortable. Okay, so I have account managers more than needed on almost 700. Check account managers, and I have gap in corporate. Let's try to move cross-organizational units. So what can I do? I can do the following. Yeah, let's internal movements on 2.469. And let's move to corporate function. On top level. Yeah. Here in corporate function, on corporate organizational unit level, we have gap fixed. Then we can go inside and adjust each individual subunit separately. So now, when we adjust our response strategy, we have recalculated strategy cost based on our data, average training cost and average recruiting cost drivers, including this reduce attrition cost, restructure, internal movement, hire and contractor cost data. So you can select your response strategies, know where you have gaps, where you should plan some movements, and compare different response strategies to understand which is the more effective one. Now, when we prepare our response strategy, partially, but we'll save some time during our demo, we will skip all the other decisions to be taken. We can analyze response dashboard, comparing do nothing with response strategy in years, in number of employees, and in cost. Me close. Report parts, which is part of our contractor strategy, hire strategy, and so on. And an absolute value and per one full-time employee. Let's imagine that we're done with 2026, and let's push to operation. You can click on Initialize Data to Operational Plan and switch to Operational Planning. Operational here means 1 year planning. And in operational workforce planning, we have configuration part, and then we should plan FTE, demands and costs. We can plan FTE and headcount on an aggregated manner. It means by company and job family. We can plan as an external. Also, we should plan internal employee. And also we have possibility to plan detailed internal FTE information by individual employees. Firstly, let's go to application configuration. Here, we are able to analyze our base assumptions coming from your accounting system. Have predefined set of assumptions that can be extended or shortened for internal workforces, midpoint salary, bonus percent, social insurance percent, or car cost absolute rate per 1 FTE, a company code, business units, and dates. It's calculated based on your counting system and based on your actuals moved forward. And also we have dedicated one driver currently for external workforce is average cost rate for external workers. For individual company, business unit, and location in time. We can take these drivers as it is, or we can adjust it if it's needed. Then confirm and go. And go into aggregated external workforce planning. There we can filter company, business unit, locations, depends on our authorization. Can analyze actual and aggregated plan if we're in the middle of the year. And also, most interesting thing, we can analyze our pre-filled aggregated external headcount coming from our strategic plan on 2026. Now we can click on print mode and adjust something. For example, let's hire someone from external workforce on manager services in St. Louis. And click calculate costs. Okay. To see our overall headcount number was changed. And also we can see that our costs was adjusted. You can click on date column and see data by quarters or by individual months. Also, we can click show adjustment and perform some manual adjustments, not just manual increase on overall level. And that will be disaggregated per quarters and by months. So now we have calculated external workforce costs, and let's switch to aggregated internal planning. Idea and structure-wise, everything is the same. But here in internal headcount, you can plan total demand, or you can plan new hires individually. Total demands, you will just plan an end of period headcount, in the case of plan new hires. You can plan terminations and hires individually to track employee movements. Each individual panel can be open in full screen mode. Do it. And squeeze it because it seems strange. Let's just delete these minuses. Something is wrong. Select and click delete. Yeah. We will not decrease, but we will increase services and sales a little bit. Let's say plus 50%. So headcount is integer number, system will increase only on 1. Now we can click on calculate costs, and our internal workforce costs will be recalculated based on assumptions maintained and headcount adjusted. Yep. You can see our cost per business unit, company code, and plan cost type. Plan cost type is list of individual accounts, commission, pension, car allowance, salary, bonus, and so on, which was calculated based on headcount number and defined drivers. Here I also can do manual adjustments. Let's decrease something. Okay. Now we can publish data and basically we're ready for preparation of financial plan. I will show it now. What preparation is. And system we should maintain and basically maintain at the start. It can be maintained during system exploitation, system usage, general account mapping, plan cost types to individual general ledger accounts, make our workforce data recognizable and usable by our kind of FP&A team and our financial plans. Yeah. Here we have plan cost type view mapped on individual general ledger accounts, time. And this data already can be consumed with our financial planning as part of profit and loss statement, which we discussed in our previous webinars. A little bit later, you will have a possibility to get a link on our previous webinars. It will be very soon. And so currently we prepared our strategic workforce plan. We detailize our coming year and operational planning on periods, job families. We adjusted our assumption, calculate workforce cost based on predicted and data-based drivers. And now we can analyze progress overview, gender analysis, and some set of pre-built reports. Can filter some company codes, you have only one, business units, for example, corporate, and check growing time, total cost over time, headcount by locations, internal external split, gender breakdown, budget comparison report, and so on. So I'm almost out of time. Yeah, I can explain and speak about it a lot, yeah, but it's soon we're almost out of time. I would like to get the stage to Christina back, several more slides, and then we'll switch to Q&A session. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you very much, Pavel, for delivering such a great demo and for sharing valuable insights with us. Just let me move to the next slide. So Pavel has just shown you what the SAC system looks from the inside. And now let's summarize a bit what particular benefits you can get by using it. So first of all, with SAP Analytics Cloud, you can streamline workforce planning and spend less time on manual tasks. Besides, it unites finance and HR around a single consistent plan, eliminating confusion from multiple files or assumptions. And also you can quickly explore different scenarios and immediately see how each decision affects costs. And this gives you clear data-driven insights to make confident workforce decisions. So yeah, thank you very much for your attention. Now we can move on to the Q&A section. Let me see if we have some questions in the chat. Yep, we have a few questions for you, Pavel. So the first question is from Jane. Hi, Pavel. Can we use the solution if we don't use success factors?
First question, hello, Rain. Basically, yes, you can integrate the standards content with even non-SAP systems. Yeah, and the only point is the data structure should be supported. Yeah, maybe some structure-wise or master data dimension-wise customization will be needed. And for sure, it will be not out of the box integration, but it should be built. Nevertheless, as we see, especially including DataSphere and BDC platform, popular and available now, has a wide possibility to integration with third-party systems, so it shouldn't be any problem.
Thank you. One more question from Samuel. Hello, do we need to buy new licenses or AI units to use predictive models?
Well, Samuel, basically not, yeah, because AI units in the SAC is needed for such function as comment summarization or automatic AI-based generation of PowerPoint's presentation, which is pretty interesting and works pretty well. But if we are talking about smart insights or prediction models or some time series forecasting, even Monte Carlo simulation, which was mentioned by Christina, additional licenses and AI units is not needed. The only point is if you want to use planning functions in SAC, you should have planning licenses of SAC, but it's not because of prediction models, it's because of planning features.
Got it. Thank you. And we have one more question from Mohammed in the Q&A section. Hi, Pavel. Not sure if you have already explained it. The solution which you are showing is part of SAC business content. And what are the backend system used here?
Hello, Mohammed. Yes, this solution that we explained and I showed is a part of SAC business content, is part of rapid financial planning and analysis content back. We have dedicated webinar series dedicated for it and cases based on it. In current build, as on today, beginning of February 26, backend system is just SAC with HANA Cloud and under the SAC itself. In 2026, in next quarter, if I'm not mistaken, we can expect movement into seamless planning and data sphere underneath, but it's not here and now. We will wait this feature a lot with standard-based content. But from the other perspective, if you have data sphere and if you have SAC already, or if you have a BDC and your system under one host tenants, you can migrate your planning models into seamless planning, and your backend in that case will be a data sphere even for, let's say, standard SAC stories.
Okay, thank you. And one more question from Benjamin. Hi, guys. Is there also a training for design and user interface topics planned or recorded? Thanks in advance.
Not recorded. Yeah, we have such a service as SAC or SAP BI or SAP related trainings on demand. Yeah, we have topics to be covered by our customers that we can be on site or online to cover these trainings with some practical tips, with demo system be used. So We can discuss, yeah, you can contact us, we can
Mhm.
discuss some details, but currently we didn't plan to do some, let's say, webinar series dedicated on specific trainings topics. From time to time, I posted some topics, some posts on my LinkedIn, and dedicated on some specific cases, maybe not too deep technical for now, but we are planning to cover some technical aspects as well in the nearest future.
Mhm. Thank you, Pavel. Yeah, it seems that that's all of the questions for today, for now. If you left with any kind of questions, you can simply reach out to us after the webinar. Or, by the way, on the screen, you can see a QR code that leads to our previous webinars on this topic. So if you're interested to explore like SAC topic in more details, to learn more about its capabilities, then feel free to scan, watch the recordings, or reach out to us directly. We can set up a private meeting. Yeah, and sorry, discuss your needs. So yeah, thank you very much, guys, for today. Hope you enjoyed our webinar. It was useful and valuable for you. And let's see each other at next webinars. Thank you very much for your interest.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a nice day.